Hello everyone and welcome to the 50th episode of Grave Matters. I'm CreepyClownGirl. Alongside of me is Filia Noctis and the Sleeping Wendigo. Hi you guys.
Hello.
So, Filia, are you there, hun? we might have temporarily lost Filia. So Wendigo, before we introduce our guest, let's see who's in chat.
All right. I see Silver Underworld.
Hi, Silver. Thanks for making it.
I see Patience, and
hi,
I see
Patience.
Raven.
Hi, Raven, and hi, QP. So, everyone, tonight is a grave reunion. So, unfortunately, Nefarious TV hasn't showed up yet. But everyone, please welcome Quipster Puck and Penny Tailsup. Hi, guys. Thank you for being here.
Hello. Thank you for having us.
I just love that voice. So, this is a grave reunion, and it's been quite a while, I think, for all of us.
Yes, it has.
God, we're going back.
Think about how long.
Right? Yeah, I was going to say goes back to 2019, but moving on. So, oh, guys doing great, everything? Good. So, Quipster and Penny, why don't you tell us a little bit about your channel, your content, and when you got started and how you got your names?
Neen, would you like to go first?
I didn't hear any of that. Sorry,
Penny, oh, you're fine, hon. Would you like to tell us, Penny, about your channel, how you got started and your content and how you came up with your name? Can she hear us?
Well, I do a horror narration and art channel. And what I mean by that is I narrate stories, most of which I've written myself. And then alongside the narration, I do speed paints so that people can have something to look at while they listen. Or a lot of people don't really watch. So it's just there. But I enjoy the art, and I've actually grown a lot as an artist since I started doing that. And now I do a lot of horror art and whatever art I feel like on the side too. And I started my channel primarily as a way to get my stories out there because writing is one of my passions. And I just thought people like audiobooks, maybe they'll actually like my stories if I narrate them instead of having to read them. So I just picked it up that way. And my name, Penny Tailsup, it's not my real name, obviously, but I was trying to think of a name that sounded like it could be a real name, but it's not. And it's playing on an unlucky penny, because if a penny is heads up, it's lucky, but if it's tails up, then it's unlucky. So I decided to make my name Penny Tailsup just as like a joke, because it's not one that people catch right away. But then once you see it, you're like, oh. And I don't know, I think Penny's a cute name also, so I like going by Penny. And it's Penny, because my pen name is Penny. So really, that's just it on that. It wasn't too deep.
It's a really cool name. Penny Tailsup, huh? That is unique.
That's awesome.
Yes, it is. What about you, Kippy?
Your artwork, by the way, is spot on. It's really good.
It really is. In fact, she's doing a piece for me.
Awesome.
I know I'm fussing over it because I'm being a perfectionist. If it's my own art, I don't care. Like, I will churn out a bunch of stuff for myself, but the second it's a commission, the pressure's on, and I'm like, oh my god, it's perfect. So I don't do commissions very often because of that, because it makes me feel bad when I don't do it fast. But I only take them from people who I know understand, so that helps. I've gotten a lot better at drawing, because at first, when I was doing the art, it was just kind of as a So people have something to look at thing. It was kind of a throwaway. I like to draw, but I didn't think it was anything special. But then because I started drawing every day, or way more regularly than I used to, my art's really, really improved. And now I actually make a decent side gig worth of money off of my art on the side. Way more than anything else.
Awesome.
So that took off unexpectedly for me.
That's always
But
nice.
I'm glad. Yeah.
That is really nice and awesome. I cannot wait
Yeah.
to see when you're done with mine. I know it's going to be fantastic.
I'm going to do my best. Yeah.
No pressure.
Oh, I know.
No pressure at all.
Oh, no.
The only pressure is the pressure I give myself. And I know that, and I do know I do that. So I showed her like a preview of here's what I have done. I just don't like it yet. And so she would know I was working on it, you know? It was just fussy. Not that I thought she doubted it, but you know how it is. Because I'm really quiet. I feel like people will forget that I exist, but that's okay because I'm quiet and I'm not reaching out either. So, you know what I mean?
Right, but it's all good. Good things come to those who wait. So.
Yeah, I periodically log onto my Twitter just to dump some art out there so people go, oh yeah, Penny.
That's bad, isn't it?
I mean, I'm gonna come back. I just am waiting for my health to get better. It's really hard to get anything done.
Right. Oh,
I'm not gonna die. I'm just miserable.
Oh, these migraines lately have been just disturbing me.
I get those too. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm lucky I
Sorry.
don't have one today. I had one yesterday.
Oh. I hate
And then I always
migraines.
feel drained for like 2 days or at least afterwards, which I think is why I'm so checked out today. But I'm glad that you got a hold of me, or I would have totally spaced this. And it wouldn't have been on purpose, I swear.
I know. It's like, where's Penny? Where's Neff? Oh,
I wasn't even doing anything. I was just zoned out. I haven't done anything productive all weekend. Well, I guess this is productive. I was like, oh, it'd be good for me to chat with everybody I missed, to catch up with everybody else. Like, everybody else should tell me what's going on with them. Because I don't want to talk about too much more stuff.
you're fine. We don't mind if you guys go off on a tangent. In fact, we encourage it. So,
Well, I just don't have much to say right now. That wouldn't be a bummer. But I am really happy to be chatting with everybody because I miss everyone, and that's true, 100%. So I would love to hear what everyone's up to.
so we're happy to have you here. And it does help when you surround yourself with friends. Welcome back, Filia. Filia's, I think, having issues with her connection.
Hello?
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 Hello.
Can you hear me?
Hey,
Hey.
I hear you.
Back?
Yep.
I can hear you now.
Yay! Okay, great. I kept saying, before we go on, and I'm like, is nobody listening to me? I just wanted to remind everybody that this is our 50th 50 episode.
And I think we lost
Amazing.
her. Yes. We've made it to 50 episodes. And I think we lost Filia again. Bless her heart.
Dang.
oh no. Sorry, I brought my bad luck in here, didn't I?
Oh, you did not.
No, that. Believe me, there plenty else has been going on.
So what about you, QP?
Well, I'm Quipster Puck. My channel is primarily horror narrations. Some of them are stories that I've written. Some of them are stories that I've found online and contacted the authors and got permission to narrate, or people submitted to me asking me to narrate them. Before each of the stories, I like to do a little skit with my character, Quipster Puck, and a lot of times I have my little helpers, as I call them, involved in a lot of the skits, and basically I try to make it sort of a little bit like Tales from the Crypt, where they had the intro and the outro skits before and after each story. It's, I mean, that I grew up watching Tales from the Crypt, and I always loved that format, and I love Tales from the Crypt, so that was kind of a big inspiration.
Didn't one of your...
I'm sorry, what was that?
I was going to say, didn't one of your little Puck helpers do a poem with you?
Yes.
For CreepyClownGirl, and mine's Poetry Potluck?
Yes.
I remember.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, my oldest helper.
It was.
She did one.
It was really sweet.
Yeah, she was very proud of that poem.
She wrote it, didn't she?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Right, she wrote it. If I remember.
Yes.
She wrote it, if I remember correctly.
Yeah,
Right.
she wrote it and she helped narrate
Yeah,
it.
that was.
Yes, I remember
Right.
that.
It was. It was
And,
really.
she's actually been
sweet.
trying to write a few
that would be
more for
available
whenever I
on-
return.
Awesome.
Oh,
She's also
cool.
been trying to write some kind of creepy songs and stuff like that as well.
Awesome. Can't wait to hear those. You know what? And my apologies. I forgot to add you to some of my stories. I'm like, wasn't there something else? Oh, yeah. Oops. Bad clown.
And so, and my character is basically, it's sort of like a demon. He's based off of Puck, you know. So I mean, he's actually more a fae than he is a demon, but people tend to call him a demon because that's the way it kind of looks on my channel. And yeah, I have my own little distinct voice that I use for him. Hello, this is Quipster Puck here. So I try to have a good time with it. I figure if I'm having a good time making the skits and making the videos, then whoever's watching is gonna have a good time. At least that's what I hope.
Well, that one that you did with Fear Crawler and the pizza, I was rolling. It's like my ribs were hurting. I'm like, oh, this is great. But I just have one question. Were you guys really on the phone with each other?
No.
Okay.
No, we weren't really on the phone with each other, but that's the magic of YouTube.
Right. That is so awesome, though. You know, it's like, are they really on the phone with each other? But the way you guys both played it off, you know, a person could swear up and down you were, you know, so that's off. Excellent job.
Thank you. Yeah,
It was very well
enjoy
done.
being able to pull in other horror narrators, especially ones that do skits and stuff like I do, because it allows me to do so much more interaction with them.
Right. So much fun, too.
But also I like pulling people in for different stories, help narrate other voices and all, because sometimes it's kind of hard to do all the different voices yourself, and I like in my stories, I like for each character's voice to be unique. So that kind of brings in an opportunity for me to get other people involved, and also just kind of allow people that watch my channel to see theirs, you know?
It's a support system.
Yep. I mean, we all got to support each other.
Exactly.
Now,
Oh, yeah.
my name, originally when I was coming up with a name, I was thinking of Twisted Loki.
Oh, I like that.
But then Marvel started releasing all the movies with Loki in them.
Mhm.
And I'm like, okay, yep. I don't want to just be playing off of that.
Right.
So I started trying to think of, all right, what's another character that I've kind of liked that's kind of a trickster type character, you know? And Puck came to mind. And then I was trying to think of another word that was similar to trickster, and I came up with Quipster.
I like that.
I like
That's
it.
how,
Anything with the
Quipster
Q
Puck
is
was
catchy
born.
also.
Right. Definitely anything with a Q.
Well, I think it's very fitting because you are very fast with your little quips. You come back with your little comebacks so quickly that I think it's a perfect name for you.
Well, thank you very much.
I hope everybody heard that.
Yes.
Oh, good, you heard me.
Yes. Yes, I
Yay.
definitely did hear you.
So, Filia or Wendigo, either one of you have a question or anything for Penny and QP?
Yes. This is for both of y'all. Since starting your channels and where they are now, where do y'all see y'all's channels going in the future?
That's a
Would
tough
you like
question.
to take it, or you want me to?
You go ahead.
Okay. Well, in the future, hopefully my channel will start getting some videos again. A couple years ago, I got a new job and I moved. So when that happened, I had to stop uploading videos, unfortunately. I've still been getting settled in this new house. I finally got a sound room put together and everything. But so hopefully I'll be able to start uploading videos before too long. I'm in talks with another narrator about a project that will hopefully help me with relaunching the channel and kind of finishing out the story arc that's been going on in my skits. So that'll allow my helpers to be able to come back in, and they've been wanting to be making videos and getting involved in it again. So that's what I'm kind of hoping is I'll be able to get that taken care of, start uploading videos, and hopefully be able to start entertaining people again.
Would love to have you back.
It'd be very cool to see more videos from your channel.
Oh, we can't wait.
Oh no, it's like
Yes,
Same boat.
we miss you.
Well, thank you. And I do have a few
It's hard
stories
to
that I've
answer when you don't know
got in
when
my
you're gonna
head
be
that I'm
able to.
needing to write. So I'll, when I do come back, it will be with some original content.
awesome. And what did you say, Penny?
I was just saying, I
Ooh.
relate to what he's saying. Basically.
Yeah, we
I
can't
know.
wait for both of you to come back. What about you, Penny?
Yep. I plan on coming back. Like, that has been the plan, and I've been saying I'm back, like intermittently every now and then something happens and I can't.
I've done that a few times myself.
Right.
A huge part of the struggle for me is that I'm a one-person team and I do everything and I take on a lot. So, I mean, like all the drawing, all the writing, all the narrating, and then all the video editing, and it's just too much for me right now. So while I'm planning on coming back, I just don't know when. But one of my plans was to start making the videos also available as podcasts. So that was one of my future plans. But because I don't want to say I'm going to be back in X date because I'm afraid if I say that, something else will happen and I won't be able to. So that's kind of where I'm at. But I think that while I've been kind of recuperating, and a burnout's been a big problem for me too. I think I struggled against feeling so guilty about not getting stuff done that I made it worse. But I have been working on my art because that's been a low stress thing for me, and I've been improving on that. So I think that when I do come back, people are going to be like jaws dropping when they see the new speed paints. And I'm hoping people will forgive me when they see just how much my art's improved. Just because it's been like a year since I've done a video, and I've been drawing that whole time. And I think that the difference in my art from a year ago is going to look very dramatic when I return.
Looking forward
that's what I'm
to
hoping.
Can't wait to see it.
Boom.
And I agree. Editing and working on a YouTube channel, a lot of people think that there's not much into it, but it takes a lot of work, especially if you're doing it all yourself.
It does,
Yeah.
and people don't understand that.
I mean,
And I hate editing audio, honestly. I wish I didn't hate it, but I do.
yeah, editing the
Maybe it's 'cause
audio
I'm not
is
good
very
at it.
tedious. I enjoy editing video.
I'm a perfectionist.
That's fun, difficult but fun. But audio, that's a whole nother story.
I would rather edit video any day of the week. I 100% agree. So whenever I have to sit and listen to my voice for all day while I'm doing editing, it I guess grinds my gears. I can't do it. And I know that everyone's more critical of their own voice, but I just feel like ew the whole time. So I don't want to do
There
that all
is
day.
nothing wrong with your voice.
Nope.
Well, when you're editing, it's like you hear all the pops and stuff, and I feel like I'm really hypersensitive on those, or like only for my voice. Anybody else, I don't notice, but if it's me, I'm like, ew, I sound disgusting. Sounds like I have a cold.
Yeah, I don't like my voice either. It's like, no.
I've never heard anyone be like, yes, my voice is amazing. And if anybody here is that confident, I envy you. But I feel like it's common in our circles is we all hate our voices.
Right. I know Neff didn't like his voice either, and I'm like, what? Shut up, Neff.
Well, it's because you're like, that's what I sound like? It doesn't sound right.
Please tell me it isn't true.
I googled it once because I was like, why do we all hate our voices? And it said something like, because the way we hear ourselves physically with like the sound reverberating in our ears and our skull is different than how other people hear it. So you'll never hear your voice the way it actually is unless you record it. And since it doesn't sound like you, it's off-putting. Like it's a psychological thing. So apparently it's normal. I googled this. Because I was like, why? Because
Leave
we're
it to
all
Penny.
like that. I go on weird Google tangents and rabbit holes. Sorry. But I looked it up.
So,
And I probably didn't even explain it well, but I
what
feel
did
like
it say if you actually do like your voice?
It didn't.
What does it mean if you do like your voice?
I
It
guess
didn't
that you don't feel
in
disconnected
recording.
from
Didn't
it.
say. Okay, that must be one of those. Okay, that means you're psychopath.
No, I didn't see anything about
So,
that.
Um,
Maybe you just have an amazing voice if you like it, like like extra amazing. Like, do you think Morgan Freeman hates his voice?
Yeah.
I doubt it. He probably is like, heck
I
yeah.
feel like. Oh, I doubt it.
What, Filia?
I know. I don't mind my voice. I said I don't mind my voice. I kind of
Oh,
like it.
Good.
My recorded voice.
That's good. I'm really jealous.
Yeah, it probably just means I'm a sociopath.
I think it means you're confident.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh.
Exactly.
Well, that's one of the things that whenever I get sick, like I had COVID, and I got it really, really, really bad just at between like Thanksgiving and Christmas, and I have not felt like my voice has been up to par since then. So I haven't recorded because I don't want. I feel like my voice has changed, and I don't want to give not my best. I don't want to not give my best to people out there.
Dan,
Your voice
always sick. So
hasn't changed.
I know that struggle. Well, you would notice the changes in your own voice more than anybody else would. Like,
Right.
that's a fact.
Exactly. Real quick, hello to Possessed Radio. Hey, thanks for joining us. Now, if just Neff would chill up.
Okay, so I have a question. I'm going to ask this to Penny first. How do you deal with writer's block?
If my channel's any indication, I don't. Well, I guess the real answer is I do something else for a while. Like lately, since I have writer's block,
Okay.
I've been drawing instead. So it still stimulates the creative part of my brain, but I'm not like bashing my head against a wall trying to write, because I do feel like doing that makes it worse. And sometimes I think it's okay to take a break. And because I find that when I'm working on the same thing over and over and over again, and I hate it, and it's unproductive, and I'm sick of looking at it, it's just not, it doesn't help. But actually leaving and then coming back later with fresh eyes helps a lot more. But
Okay.
that's my method.
Okay.
I switched to something else creative so I can still keep that creative part of my brain going, but like in a different way. So drawing is more visual for me, but still creative, and writing is more, I don't know, cerebral. But still creative. So I feel like something similar but different can kind of keep you from having a creative rot. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, it kind of actually does.
No, that makes sense. Puck, do you ever get narrator's block?
Well, I do get writer's block at times. And as far as narrator's block, I guess that might be where you're having a hard time finding a story to narrate. But yeah, I do have a hard time finding stories to narrate or getting myself in the right mindset to narrate a story. And of course, sometimes I just can't think of anything to write about. Normally when that happens, I go for a walk, spend time with my family. A lot of times when I'm out and about and I'm trying to think of something to write, I'll pay attention to what's going on around me and try to just get inspiration from something that I see, you know.
Same.
I know, like my story, The Greatest Gift, that one, I was trying to think of something for a Christmas special. and I could not think of anything. And so I went out looking at Christmas lights with my family, and on one of the houses I saw a manger that they had written in front of it, "The Greatest Gift." And I'm like, that would be a great name for a story.
Oh.
And then I'm sitting there, and then, okay, I can go from here with that, and the story just built from there.
Right.
And I'm not even going to tell you what inspired that disturbing feeling
Right.
on my channel. Another one of my stories, because that one is kind of a weird inspiration.
You know
Right,
that
but
you
no,
all
it makes
sort of
sense
love that,
to
right?
to get inspiration from what's around you.
What'd you
I
say,
know I
Kitten?
do. It's like if the explanation for why a story came to be is weird, I'm completely here for that. I love weird inspirations because I have those too. And sometimes I'm just dying for somebody to ask me how I thought of that, so I can explain, because otherwise I would just sound deranged randomly bringing that up.
Well, remember, you asked
So
for it.
I totally appreciate that. Yes.
I don't know if you've heard that story of mine yet, but the story starts off with the guy, he goes to the restroom, and you know how when you sit on a toilet after somebody else has been on it
Right.
shortly
Ugh.
before, you feel the warmth from the toilet?
Yeah.
Well, that guy
Nah.
feels that warmth on the toilet, but he lives alone.
Oh. Mm.
So
I love it.
it built from there.
That's amazing. I love that. I'm not gonna lie. That is hilarious. It's so relatable.
Okay, I think that would freak me out. No, you're right.
That was worth it. I'm glad that I
That's like
insisted.
okay.
Right?
That is like, okay, you're home alone. There's no animals with you. Okay, Puck, I have a question for you. Another one, real quick. You're home alone. You know that there's no other living thing in the house with you, and you hear a fart, and it's not your own. Do you laugh or run away?
Both.
I can't say I've randomly heard a fart when I've been home alone. I've heard random noises around the house and been like, what was that? But and I've heard like other voices, like sounded like they were calling my name, but never heard a fart. That one might grab the air freshener, spray it, and leave the house.
My ghost farted, but a couple of weekends ago,
I got to say that is not my question. That question comes from someone else.
So a couple of weekends ago, I was at my oldest daughter's, and I got in DC on Discord with the Sleeping Wendigo, and we're sitting there talking, and I shut the bedroom door, and I was laying on my granddaughter's bed, and the head of the bed faced the door in the closet. And all of a sudden I heard, "Mama." And I'm like, "Hold on, Wendigo. I think my daughter's calling me." And I go out there, she's sound asleep. And he goes, "Well, did she need any, was that her?" or whatever he said. And I was like, "That wasn't her." So pretty creepy. I was like, I think I need to leave like now. Would be a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My wife was getting creeped out earlier today because we were sitting in the car, and then just randomly over the speakers of the car, we heard a little girl go, "Kitty?"
Oh, no.
My only guess is somebody's Bluetooth interfered or something, you know.
Right.
But my wife was like, "This is because you started trying to come up and do Quipster Puck stuff again, isn't it?"
So, Wendigo, do you have a question?
That'll teach you to drive through a graveyard
Right.
at midnight.
Right. I can just see him.
Yes, for the both of y'all, do y'all believe in the paranormal?
Oh, I do.
And if so, do you have any experiences you would like to tell us?
Quipster or Penny?
I can share one. I think that the only one that I remember that I can't explain is well, besides the I'm crazy explanation anyway, is I was on my lunch break at work, and I work downtown, so I like to go out and like take a walk on my lunch breaks. So on one of these days, I was just walking along on my lunch break, and I was listening to Disney metal, by the way. So I was totally tuned in to my Disney metal, and as I'm walking the sidewalk, I noticed that this man standing outside of this little French pastry shop we have, and I couldn't tell you what he looks like because I couldn't like register anything except for that he was there and that he was talking to me. And even though I had my earbuds in full blast, I could hear what he was saying, but like my brain was like panicking and I couldn't interpret anything. So it's like I was looking right at him, and I was hearing him talk to me, and I was looking at him, but I couldn't understand a word he was saying, and I couldn't like perceive him exactly, except for that I just knew that there was like a normal person standing there, but like details zero. Like I couldn't tell you even at that moment. I didn't know. It was like my brain was being scrambled, and his voice sounded like tinny, like it was coming out of a machine. And I got, even though I didn't understand what was being said, and there's no reasonable explanation for how I could even heard him because I had my earphones on full blast, and that was still happening. I could still hear it, like just cutting through my music, and I was panicking, like hardcore, freaking out, but all I could do was keep moving. I like power walked. Like I couldn't run because it was icy, but like I fled in a panic, and I don't know what was being said to me, and I don't know what they looked like. And when I got all the way to the mall, like 2 miles away, I was still freaked out, and I don't know why. And when I walked back, I was still. It took me like a month to be okay with going down that street again. I kept walking around that area.
Wow.
So that's my experience. I don't know what the hell that was. But yeah, that's just I could hear them, didn't know what they were saying, I don't know what they look like. It was just like my brain was scrambled. And all I could do was panic. And that's like the most strong, obvious example I can think of.
That's scary.
Like do you hear me freaking out just talking about it? Like,
yeah.
It's good.
When I remember it, it freaks me out. Like still. And it's been years.
I think we've been visited by other beings, I will say.
I don't think that one was friendly.
Casey, you were that night when I was on the phone with you.
Huh?
You were that night that one night you and I were on the phone.
Mm-hmm.
And that black mist, gray mist in your kitchen.
Right. That was terrifying.
Yeah, I don't know if a lot of you guys know that Cece and I are actually friends in real life too. And so she was going through some stuff and we were talking and were you unpacking or packing? I think you were unpacking.
I think so.
No, you were packing to move. That's what it was. It was the first packing. And your friend had just died.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, she's got me on speakerphone and she's like, oh my God. I'm like, what? She goes, oh my God. I'm like, what? She goes, there's like a black fog or gray fog in my kitchen.
Standing next to
I'm
me
like,
at the sink.
oh.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm like, can you get out?
Nope.
Can you
Couldn't
get
move.
past
Nope.
it? Yeah, it was kind of
Scary. But not, that was scary.
that was weird that it just happened.
Right.
Yeah.
But what Penny went through, that would have
I mean,
scrambled
I
my
didn't
brain
see
too.
it, but I could hear the fear. Yeah. I could hear the fear in your voice. That was definitely real.
That was terrifying. And what about you, QP? Yes.
Well, yes, I do believe in that there is definitely things that we can't explain. I have had I have definitely had a few incidents myself that I haven't been able to really explain. One of them, it was honestly, most people aren't going to believe because it's too much like a horror movie. You know, it's too much like the paranormal ghost movies and everything. But I'll go ahead and I'll share it. A long time back when my oldest daughter was real little, we lived in a condo, and I had had a few incidences and everything before this had happened, but my daughter, she had a imaginary friend that she would talk to and play with once in a while. Now, eventually, at first we thought it was just a regular imaginary friend, all kids have them, but of course we paid attention to her. So over time she started complaining that her friend was being mean to her, and like she'd put her hands up and and she went roar to me. Well, we told her, well, if she's doing that, you need to stop playing with her and stop talking to her and stuff, Well, one day I'm sitting in my room working on something on the computer, and she comes in crying that her friend was being mean and wasn't letting her watch TV and wasn't letting her play on her rocking horse and stuff. So I say, okay, well, what'd she do? Well, she moved my rocking horse, and she went raw, and she shut off the TV. So I said, okay, I'll go turn on the TV for you. So I went to her room, and she had, in her room, she had a little toy rocking horse that we kept on the floor. And then there was this day bed that we had that, at the time, we had 2 mattresses on that day bed. She couldn't even climb up on there on her own because she was so small, much less be able to lift something like the rocking horse and put it on there. Well, her rocking horse was sitting on top of the day bed, still moving. And the TV was off, which the TV was up on top of this big dresser, and we didn't even have a remote for it. So there was no way she could reach that. But
oh, hell no.
Yeah. So that one kind of, I still have not figured out how that rocking horse got up there, because it was, at the time my wife was at work, So I know
Oh,
my
you
wife
know how
didn't
it got
do
there.
And yeah.
That would be, honey, we're packing and leaving. Bye.
When all other options have been eliminated,
And
the one that's
when I had
left is
taken her
usually
and
correct.
put her in that room originally, I know the rocking horse was on the floor because I set her on the rocking horse to watch her show. So, yeah, that was just kind of like, okay, something is definitely going on. Because everything
like,
before
honey,
in that,
pack,
in
we're
that
leaving.
place had been very
Right,
minor.
yeah.
Right.
You know, I mean, things once in a while falling over.
Yeah, I
Once in a
kind of
while,
draw
I'd
the
hear
lines.
like a voice, and I think it was just my imagination. You know, I had friends that complained that they felt like they were being watched when they were spending the night. But that was the biggest thing that ever happened at the place.
I wouldn't even have stayed.
We eventually were able to move out, but there was one night that we had gone to a friend's house, and when we went back home, both me and my wife, when we were pulling up next to the condo and we were going to go to the carport, just both of us just suddenly got this feeling of dread. And like I don't scare easy. I mean, I grew up watching horror movies, and you know, it doesn't. I rarely get freaked out or creeped out, really.
Right.
But the hair on my arms was like literally standing up, and I was like, yeah, I don't want to go in there right now. So we called our friends and asked if we could go and stay at their place for that night, because both of us just did not feel like we should be there right then.
Oh, wow.
That's scary. No, that's
Yeah, it
beyond
is.
scary. That's unnerving.
And what the weird, even weirder, that night,
Yeah, when it
one of our
starts
neighbors,
affecting babies.
one of our neighbors got jumped in their carport by a bunch of guys with baseball bats,
Oh,
and ended up getting put in the hospital. He
So
was an
maybe-
elderly gentleman.
so maybe that dread that you felt, maybe it was the house protecting you guys.
So yeah,
Could look at it that way.
yeah.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know, but it was. Yeah, that I'll never forget that feeling. Yeah. Only time I've ever felt like that.
I hope you never feel it again, because it's. Ugh. God, I got chills just. No.
We have a question. We have a question from the chat.
Awesome.
Silver Underworld asks, what's y'all's first scary movie?
There you go.
So, Penny, what's your first
Oh,
scary
mine?
movie?
Yeah. I'd say the first one I remember being like actually upset by would be Final Destination. That one got in my head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see that?
Yeah. I remember.
Okay.
I hate aging
Mr. Puck?
myself.
Sorry, Penny
Uh,
wasn't done yet, but go ahead.
You can
I was-
continue, Penny.
I was just saying that when I name a movie like that, I know that ages myself. That's all.
Don't know anything. Go ahead, QP. What about you, hun?
My first one, I honestly don't remember for sure. It was probably either one of the Freddy Krueger or Jason movies, because that's what I grew up. I mean, I was like 3 years old watching Freddy Slice and Dice. You know, my parents.
Oh my God.
My parents had a kind of a strange philosophy on what I was allowed to watch when I was little. I horror movies, No problem. Doesn't matter. There's guts. You know, who cares? Comedies? That's too stupid to enter my doors. So,
My
most
sister had the
comedies I
opposite.
did not get to watch. But horror? No problem at all.
That's funny.
I don't think I started watching
Yeah,
horror
I-
until I was like a tween.
I
I
didn't
wasn't allowed.
have a problem. Oh, I let my daughter watch all kinds of stuff when she
One
was little.
moment.
Her favorite movie when she
Right.
was 3. Okay. My
Okay,
daughter's
creepy.
favorite movie when she was like 3 was A Nightmare Before Christmas.
That
And
one's cute.
so, you know, she just right, but I mean it was animated, but that's not the only. I mean, she would watch stuff with me, well, mostly because it was just me and her. But you know, I'd watch a psychological thriller, and she may not necessarily know what's going on. But you know, if it was on, she watched it. Probably should have done better with that. Now that I think back, now that she's an adult with very weird habits.
I was a wuss as a kid. That's why I wasn't allowed, because apparently the witch from Snow White
Anybody else got a
gave me
question?
nightmares. So
Snow White did?
the witch from Snow White, and it wasn't even like the ugly hag one. It was the Queen Witch. My mom said that I had a poster, a Snow White poster in my room, and I would cry about the bad witch in the poster. And she realized I was afraid of the witch, so she took the poster. And then she was like, "No horror for you, for sure." And then I didn't watch horror until I was like a tween, because I was one of those kids that when I was told to do something, I actually didn't do it. So if I wasn't allowed to watch horror, even if I had the opportunity, I'd be like, "Nope, not allowed." But I
Aw.
think with horror, I was like secretly afraid of it. Like I didn't want to be afraid anyway, so I was okay with it.
Wow.
I didn't like horror till I was an adult. So
Wow.
yeah.
Surprising.
You were like a little goody two shoes.
Yeah. Embarrassingly. So, yeah. I really did what I was told. Like, no.
No. I'm going to wait until QP gets back to ask this question, but yeah, keep going, Penny.
Yeah. Your mom wouldn't have let me hang around.
The thing is, my brother was allowed and he was younger. It was like really a rule for me because she knew her place. Because I was a really anxious kid. And when I did see Final Destination, even as a tween, like I think it was one of the sequels where somebody dies in the tanning bed. And guess what my mom was doing while I was watching that? My mom was tanning. So I panicked and called her after the tanning salon.
Oh God.
And then she had to explain to me exactly how that wasn't possible and how there were all these safety mechanisms in the tanning booths that would make all of that impossible. But I was still like upset that she was tanning. And hey, I was right because tanning's bad for you. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I was a wuss.
Right. Do you remember? Do you remember your first scary book?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
QP isn't
Goosebumps
back.
series. Oh, I thought she said Q, and then it was really quiet. So, it was the Goosebumps
Oh
series.
no.
It's okay. Go
I don't
ahead.
remember
So,
the Goosebumps.
I like the Goosebumps series. I thought it was cool. And I used to watch Blake Cozy High. Oh. Well, I'm showing my age.
It
Anyways.
was the movies I couldn't do. But I've like read every single Goosebumps book for sure. I don't know why, But I'm still that way now. Like, I can write horror, but I still don't really enjoy, like, gore type movies. So I'm not a big fan of slashers, which I know are big in horror. I like more psychological horror than the gore fest, even now.
I actually do too.
I can
Right.
I can stomach it better if it's in writing than if I have to see it. My imagination tones down for me. Like, just glosses over.
I was gonna say the only thing that would be a bad thing is if you have the ability to like imagine everything that's happening on that sheet of paper into a movie. Because that's literally what I do every time I read a book.
My brain's just like, skip that part,
I
skip
do
that
too.
part.
Me, I think one of the
But I've got the medical background, so I can actually visualize what's happening in the book. You know, so when there's like, we split the throat and slit the gut and was pulling out the large intestine first and then the small intestine, it's like, yep, I've seen that. And in the movie, I can look at it and go, oh, that's so fake. That's not what blood really looks like.
right.
But if it's a book, I have the images to put in there.
I do to a degree, because I work in the legal
Okay.
system, so I worked appeals for a long time. I actually don't anymore. But I would see all the crime scene photos, and they showed everything. And then they would always have autopsy photos and evidence too, so I saw lots of photos of things I wish I hadn't.
Right. So you've seen the real stuff.
I have.
Yeah.
I would try not
So you
to
have
see
the
it.
pictures to put there in your mind when they talk about stuff.
Unfortunately. I don't like gore, so that's I would rather have the psychological any day.
I prefer
Yeah.
psychological as well, but I can deal with the slashers and stuff because I know it's all fake.
Right, and I think one of the
Yeah,
true
yeah.
iconic, I think one of the true iconic psychological thrillers of all time, because I even still have this phobia, is Psycho. The shower scene. It's like I'm locking my door. It's like, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
My door's locked.
Yeah.
Not that it would do, not that it would do a lot of good, because they have exponential amount of strength, but my door's locked.
You would hate
No, I agree with that absolutely.
I will say this. When you said Psycho, I didn't think of the movie. I've never watched that movie. I thought of something else.
Oh no, you've got to watch Psycho, I'm telling you. So, yeah.
There was also
If you do watch it, watch the original. The new one with Vince Vaughn sucks. It was horrible. The remake was horrible.
Who's the original by? Because I'll have to look it up at one point and try to find it.
And
Anthony Perkins.
Alfred Hitchcock
And,
and Anthony Perkins. Alfred Hitchcock directed. Anthony Perkins and Janet Leigh.
Janet Leigh, yep. Yeah, you'll be looking at taking a shower in a whole new way there, Wendigo.
I mean, you're talking to someone who watched The Grudge and Freddy Krueger at 5 years old.
Yeah, you just go watch Psycho, okay? So now that QP's back, Penny and QP, you both have been very, very bad people. We want to know what you're on death row. So we want to know what you did to get on death row. Anything. We don't care. Come up with it. What would your last meal be, and what would your method of execution be?
Do we have to say what we did also, or just the last
Yeah.
meal?
Yeah.
What did you do to get on death row? Did you steal the purple gumballs only or something?
Oh man, my answer would be dark. My neighbor across the street, I saw him murder a puppy, so I would murder him. And
Okay.
because he's a puppy killer, so
Ooh, okay.
yeah. I mean, actually, he got arrested and everything over this, but
Oh.
but animal abuse was his only charge, so he's only going to get like a year in prison or a fine for murdering a puppy, and it was like the most brutal puppy murder. I mean, actually, I've never seen anything more brutal than what he did.
Oh,
I won't describe it because it's too upsetting, but it was not quick.
Mm.
And he didn't know that there was a witness, and apparently I was the only witness. So when I called the police and I reported it, he wouldn't have been caught if I hadn't called. So I feel like anybody who murders innocent animals or children, I would just go on a killing spree. If I had to do a death row crime, I would just kill everybody who hurt kids and animals. Just serial killer spree. And then I would have a delicious steak and garlic mashed potatoes.
Yeah.
And probably a lot of wine. And then I don't know, how should they kill me? Probably just like gunshot to the head, quick.
I personally want the guillotine. Oh, a gunshot.
yes.
I feel like fire is
Okay, gunshot.
really dramatic, so I just kind of like that.
The right straight.
Hello,
to the back of the-
AK.
Oh yeah, I should add, I have no plans to commit these crimes. It's just that instantly it was like, if I was gonna do a crime, that would be that bad. I know people who would deserve bad things to happen to them, that's all. But I wouldn't actually do it. But look out, puppy killers and child herders.
Want to say hey to alternative? Right, absolutely. Just wanted to say hi to Alternative Night who just popped in.
Hi, Alt.
Hi, alternative.
Hello.
Am I the only one that calls him Alt? But anyways, good.
You
I'm with you.
I don't know, I
Penny.
call him AK.
Well, I'm there with you, Penny. I really am. And that steak sounds bomb. It's got to be a porterhouse, about yay thick. Anyway, QP, what about you?
Okay, Mr. Quipster Puck, what did you do?
All right. Do you want me to answer this as me or as me?
Quipster.
No,
QP.
Well,
as the Puck.
How about both?
well, let's see.
Why not both?
If I were to go to jail, I don't know how that would happen, but it would have to probably be for sneaking into some random mortal's house for a late night snack and feasting on their flesh. Good luck to them keeping me in that cell, though. As for how they're going to dispose of me, well, why would I give up my secrets?
Oh, I love that voice.
It's good. Yeah, I love it.
Me too.
Now, for me,
I don't know why.
I
I
would
see
have to
Green
agree
Goblin.
I'm sorry, what was that?
They said that voice
Green
brings
Goblin.
images of Green Goblin.
Yeah.
I don't. Quipster voice brings the image of Green Goblin in my mind.
See that?
No, it brings a troll to my mind.
I don't know why.
Honestly,
QP.
It just does.
honestly, when he does it, it reminds me of the Joker.
Mm-mm. Definitely a troll.
Come on, Batsy.
For me, it's the dummy in Goosebumps.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Slappy.
Slappy, yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh man,
It's
I miss
laughy in there.
Goosebumps, folks.
So go on, QP. Now in human form.
All right. Well,
Yes.
I would have to agree with Penny on anybody that hurts children. I have known some small children that got abused by somebody, and thankfully that person is now rotting in jail, and hopefully they stay there for a long time. I'm glad it's probably best that they got put in jail before I got near them. I'm the one that drove that kid to the hospital. So, yeah. That's... And I don't know exactly how I would go about it, but it would not be the most pleasant death for them, let's just say. And honestly, I wish that all pedophiles and stuff in the jails, that they would have a time of day that they just line up other prisoners that want to have fun and let them have at it to those people. If you can call them people.
Yeah, I don't have much sympathy for him.
Yeah, I don't either.
I do know most other
Oxygen
prisoners.
thieves.
Yeah, I do know that most other prisoners in jail, like the murderers and all that, they don't like the pedos. They absolutely hate them. And generally, if they find out there's an inmate that's a pedo, let's just say they might lose their subscription from life.
Right. Well. So,
As far as how my execution would be for that, I'd say the state should be rewarding me, honestly. But
right, that's what I was just fixing to say.
but if they had to kill me, let me be asleep and make it a lethal injection. Silent, painless.
There you go.
My last meal,
Oh,
probably lobster and steak. A nice big margarita.
Oh, yes. Awesome.
Some shrimp, scampi.
Cocktails. You're making me hungry.
Right?
Okay, so now that you've both
Hey.
real quickly, now that you guys have been put to death, who's going to be reading your eulogies? You can have anybody, dead or alive, real or make believe.
Didn't expect to have to think today. It wasn't so hard for me. Like,
Sorry.
you know what?
I
If I was going off voice, Dr. Creepin would love for him to do it with this voice.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Just saying.
Okay, I'm with you on that. I got you. Yeah, no, I got it. I get it. That man dropped dead sexy with that voice.
Okay.
Excuse me while I go crawl under a table.
Don't tell him
Jim
I said
Carrey.
that. I
He
feel like
he
that's
can
creepy.
put some humor in it. Make it not quite so sad.
There you go.
Jim Carrey would be good.
I like Jim Carrey.
Alrighty then.
Okay. So, Wendigo, we'll go ahead and let you start. And then, Philly, do you want to close the show or do you want me to?
No, why don't you go ahead and do it?
Okay, so we'll start with Wendigo, then Filia, and then I'll go ahead and close the show. So Wendigo, go ahead, hon.
Well, I would like to thank everyone in chat for joining us. I've seen a lot of familiar faces, and I can't wait to see how this show keeps on going. I would like to thank Penny and Quipster for joining us on the show. And as always, I would like to thank Raven, who is the man behind the yellow line.
Filia.
Putting us on the show. It's a lot of fun.
Again, I'd like to thank our guests, Quipster Puck and Miss Penny Tailsup, for joining us for our 50th episode. It's been wonderful. Love having you both on. The man behind the yellow line, thank you for doing what you do for us. And Wendigo, thanks for being here. And CCG, my sister from another mister, thanks again for letting me co-host with you.
Welcome. Penny and QP, do you have any final words?
Oh yeah, and thanks everybody in chat.
Penny or QP?
Thank you guys for having me, and I'm looking forward to coming back and getting to be friends with everybody again. But I don't know when, but hopefully soon. But I am really glad that I came on today, so thank you.
QP?
Thank you very much for having me on the show. It was a blast, and it was fun being able to get back in Quipster character a little bit.
Always awesome to have you there. QP and... Go ahead, sorry.
I was just saying, hopefully I'll be able to get my channel started again sometime before long, and hopefully be able to be on another one of y'all's shows sometime.
Oh, heck yes. Just hold on, QP.
Absolutely.
And Penny, don't go anywhere just yet. We'd like 5 minutes with you after the show. QP and Penny, looking forward to both you guys coming back. Thank you for joining us on the 50th episode of Grave Matters, a grave reunion. This has been a blast. Thank you to Wendigo and Filia. Awesome to have you both here. Thank you to everyone in the chat. Raven behind the yellow line. Much love to you, Birdman. So join us May 12th, same time, for The Strangest. So until then, stay frightened, and if you do listen, the graves always whisper. And once you join the collective, you can leave.
Once you join the
Nevermore.
collective, you can leave
Nevermore.
nevermore.
Good night, everyone, and thank you.